Mercedes is one of the biggest talking points in racing right now, and for all the good reasons because the team from Brackley managed to win 2 races back-to-back and became one of the teams that scored the most points in the last 6 race weekends since Miami, but the team doesn't want to stop there now that they figured out what was really wrong with their car, and with Hamilton finally winning a race after not winning for 2 years, could the Silver Arrows be back on track and challenge the top teams for more wins this season? And more importantly, did Hamilton make the right choice by leaving Mercedes for Ferrari? Since things have definitely changed now in the middle of the season, it's clear to say that Mercedes are definitely back on track when it comes to fighting for podium spots, and even though the team had zero hopes to fight for race wins in a fair way, the fact that they got the top 2 starting spots in front of their home crowd and won the race shows that they are truly back in business. Of course, Russell's car breaking down because of mechanical problems adds some sadness to what could have been the perfect weekend for Mercedes and a really huge comeback in the team championship, but this doesn't take away from the fact that they still have a lot to look forward to, especially now that they have a motivated Hamilton who has been struggling in the past few years because of bad car designs and missed chances with Mercedes. When talking about the result that he and his team managed to get on his home track at Silverstone, Hamilton said, "I can't stop crying. It's been since 2021, just every day getting up, trying to fight, to train, to put my mind to the task and working as hard as I can with this amazing team. This is my last race here at the British Grand Prix with this team, so I wanted to win it so much for them because I love them. I appreciate them so much for all the hard work they've been putting in all of these years. I am forever grateful to everyone on this team, everyone at Mercedes and all our partners, but all good things must come to an end, and now the main question is whether Hamilton is having second thoughts about his move to Ferrari. Mid-season changes have always played a huge role in where teams would end up for the rest of the season, and right now it looks like Ferrari has messed up in a big way. Of course, 2025 is still far away, but since the rules will stay the same, every single bit of speed that is found right now will be used heavily for next season before the massive rule changes happen. One thing is for sure, the RB20 no longer holds the crown as the best car on the grid, even though Verstappen made his lead bigger over Norris in the driver championship. But the Austrian team is now definitely not able to cruise easily for race wins, as Mercedes have broken a record that has been standing for more than 700 days and taken away 2 wins in a row from Red Bull, with this happening in 2022, the last time when it was Ferrari with Sainz and Leclerc who were winners in the same 2 races, Silverstone and Austria. The path forward for Mercedes, however, is looking more and more promising, and the Brackley team is now heavily praising the work that James Allison has put into bringing the team where they are right now. At the beginning of the season, it was easily understood that Mercedes had dropped to the middle group, and the competitor that they would have in 2024 would be Aston Martin. More actions like Hamilton leaving the team and Aston Martin deciding to go with Honda have started talks that the Silver Arrows do not have what it takes to fight back at the front. The 2 races before the summer break, and the Brackley team is back with 2 wins in the season, something that hasn't been done since 2021. From them, if we look at how the race speed looked during the Silverstone GP, we would notice that Mercedes was definitely the fastest car, having over 1/10 of a second advantage per lap compared to the second fastest car, McLaren. This includes all of the conditions that were on the track, and to be honest, if the weather had been a bit more stable, we might have seen a win in an even more dominant way, considering how well the tires were taken care of by both Mercedes drivers. Of course, we can easily guess that Verstappen was saving his tires as he was told to do so by his race engineer because of the choice of surviving the first splash of rain and preparing for the other one, but still, the Dutchman was nowhere to be found on the medium tire before the rain hit the track. And the better news for Mercedes is that they're not stopping here. James Allison is now excited to see where the car has been brought, winning races and pole positions in a pure racing way, as he plans to bring even more upgrades to the upcoming tracks. Earlier this year, the technical director of Mercedes said that the plan is to bring upgrades to every race possible, whether they are small and invisible or big package form, and the team wants to keep this promise after the massive result they scored in Silverstone. When talking about this topic in more detail, James Allison said, "I know what we have got coming, and I also know what we are planning to further improve the car, the conclusion is that Mercedes is definitely back to fight for race wins, and as we saw in Montreal, it was the driver's mistakes that ruined Russell's chance of winning the first race of the season for the team much earlier than Austria. Regardless the fact that they've scored more than 200 points in the team championship, and almost all of them came in the last 6 races on the calendar, shows that the direction and the mid-season development have definitely been on their good side. Allison himself said that the team was quite stupid to not see what was standing in front of them the entire time, blaming himself for not revealing these upgrades earlier and potentially entering the championship fight for 2024 as well. Be that as it may, Mercedes has proven time after time why they have been at the top of this sport for such a long time, even though they had desperate times in the past couple of seasons, and while what has been done cannot be undone, such as Hamilton's move to Ferrari. The team now has the perfect platform to prove to Max that they have what he needs, the best car on the grid. Sure, 2 wins, one of which came on pure luck after the Verstappen-Norris incident in Austria, are definitely not enough to prove this, but the development path, the 1-2 front row lockout, as well as the pure speed dominance that the team had in Silverstone show that a driver with Verstappen's skills could easily win races with that car. Not to take away anything from Russell or Hamilton, but we've seen how competitive they can be once more. Performance is unlocked from the car, and this direction tends to continue in the upcoming races after the latest statement from James Allison. Now it's easy to understand why Mercedes are waiting a bit more to announce the second driver alongside Russell from 2025 onwards, as Wolff never misses a chance to throw a dig towards Red Bull and try to stir things up a bit more. When it comes to the Verstappen-Horner beef, sometimes it's hard to believe that it works, given the fact that Verstappen admitted they were at Horner's house every Saturday watching TV and talking about important stuff. But if the team fails to keep the title as having the most competitive car on the grid, it would easily mean that he can leave and continue his dominance in Mercedes. It would be quite interesting to see whether Hamilton made the wrong move to join Ferrari after all of the excitement has calmed down, and now the Maranello team is back to square one, which is basically them driving the same speed car here in Silverstone, while everybody else brought massive upgrade packages, and it was clearly visible through the lap times on both Saturday and Sunday, seeing Leclerc so sad through his statements and saying he has no idea why it's going down the way it is for so many years will definitely open Hamilton's eyes, and it's also very obvious that he will require some changes from next year onwards. Of course, he's the type of driver to bring that revolutionary, game-changing energy to the team that's needed more than ever right now. But given the fact this is Ferrari, we're talking about everyone would bet more money that if Verstappen were to move to Mercedes, he would see more success from 2025 or 2026 and beyond than Hamilton. With the current state of Ferrari, with all of this in mind, do you think that Mercedes does have what it takes to fight for race wins for the remainder of 2024? And more importantly, do you think they have a proper shot at finishing in the top 2 spots in the team championship now that the downfall of Ferrari is more than evident? Let us know in the comments below, and once you've done that, have a look at the video that's appearing on your screen right now.